Students, let's do Brahmanath. Om. Om. Santi, Santi, Santi. Swasth.
Good morning students, welcome back to today's lecture. Today we are going to start another topic from your biomolecules. Previously we have discussed about several topics from your biomolecule. We have discussed about the protein, we have discussed about the structure of your amino acid. In today's class we are going to start another topic from your carbohydrate, that is your polysaccharide. In previous class what we have discussed? We have discussed about the structure of carbohydrate. What are the carbohydrate? Carbohydrate are the structure of your units of your sugars, or also known as your saccharides. And these sugars that can be divided into different types based on the presence of number of sugars in them. And based on the presence of sugar, it can be three types. One is your monosaccharide, one is your oligosaccharide, and third one is your polysaccharide. In previous classes we have discussed about the monosaccharide and oligosaccharide. And what is the general formula for your carbohydrate? It is your CnH2n and ON, or we can write this as your CnH2O bracketed by your N. Okay, and if you consider about the chemical structure of carbohydrate, mostly it consists of your polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone groups. If you take the polyhydroxyaldehyde groups, or we can call it the CHO groups, then the carbohydrate it is known as your aldose sugar. And if the CO group is present, then it is known as your ketose sugar. And most of the monosaccharide, they are made up of your simple sugar units, and they are your triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose. These are example of your monosaccharide. And the example of an oligosaccharide, mostly about 2 to 10 monosaccharide unit, they unite by the bond that is known as your glycosidic bond, and they form the oligosaccharide structures. Mostly it appears in 3 to 4 forms, that is your disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, but mostly disaccharide form it is common form. And mostly you can find the lactose, you can find the oligosaccharide in maltose structure. Okay, these are the basic structural aspects of the monosaccharides and oligosaccharides. Today we are going to start the another topic from your carbohydrate, that is your polysaccharide structure. Okay, poly means, as you know, poly means many, and the saccharides means sugar. In oligosaccharides we have discussed that the oligosaccharides they consist of few number of sugar units, or the monosaccharide units they may be up to 10 or up to 10. And if you consider about the polysaccharide, it mostly consists of 10 or more than 10 units of monosaccharides. Okay, these are known as your polysaccharides. If more than 10 subunits of monosaccharides are present, more than 10 or it may be numerous, basing on that polysaccharides can be classified. And mostly these polysaccharides, these are your macromolecule. Okay, macromolecule. As you know that monosaccharides and oligosaccharides, these are your micromolecules. They can easily dissolve inside your water, and as the polysaccharide is a macromolecule, then it cannot be easily dissolved in water. Okay, we can write that point. It can dissolve in water. And second important point is that they are not sweet in taste. As you compare the oligosaccharide, they are usually sweet in taste, and the polysaccharide these are not sweet in taste. Then it cannot easily divisible that is dissolved inside the water. But oligosaccharides and monosaccharides they can be easily dissolved inside the water. and it is a macromolecule unit. Okay, if you consider about the structure of your polysaccharide, then it is consist of the glycosidic bond. Okay, the monosaccharide units are joined by glycosidic bond. Okay, suppose I am taking one example of your polysaccharide. Suppose one is your starch. This is one example of your polysaccharide. Then it will consist of several glucose units. Like that, it consists of several glucose units. I can 4 to more number of is there. It is numerous. Okay, n number of glucose are there, and it is the structure of your starch and the bond which joins to monosaccharide units that are known as your glycosidic bond. This bond, I can write that point. This is your glycosidic bond. Okay, it is not 4 glucose unit. It may be numerous. Okay. Then these are joined by your glycosidic bonds and form a polysaccharide unit. And the general structure of your polysaccharide, it is having the chemical formula, or during formation of polysaccharide unit, release of water occurs. Okay, in each step of the polysaccharide formation there is release of one water molecule. Suppose I am writing here. Okay, suppose this is your 1C6H12O6. It will be your monosaccharide unit. Then there is formation of your polysaccharide unit, that is C6H10 plus O5, and there is release of water. Okay, this is your water. Here you can see the C6H12O6. It can be more number, that is it may be 10 or more. That's why I am writing the M. And here this is one of your example of your polysaccharide. Right. Here also I am writing the M, and here also in water I am writing the M. Okay. That is, the monosaccharide can changes. It may be 10, it may be 11, it may be 12, it may be 13, 14, like that. Okay. And there is release of water molecule in each step of formation of your polysaccharide unit. That's why here you can see the carbon 6 is present, but hydrogen there is loss of 2 hydrogen molecule, and in oxygen there is loss of 1 oxygen molecule. Thereby they release the water molecule to the outer environment. That's why during the formation of the polysaccharide unit there is release of water in each step. Okay, that is if the formation of in your polysaccharide structure there is release of water. Okay, note down these points, then we will discuss about the different types of your polysaccharide. Okay, note down these points. Okay, then we will discuss about the types of your polysaccharide, how the polysaccharide is classified. Based on the different types of monosaccharide present within them, we can classify them. Okay, mostly the polysaccharide is of 2 types. One is your homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. That is homopolysaccharide. It is also known as your homoglycan. Similarly, the heteropolysaccharides, they are also known as your heteroglycan. And the homopolysaccharides, they are made up of only the one type of monosaccharide unit. Made of one type of monosaccharide units. But if you consider about the heteroglycan or heteropolysaccharides, they are made up of more than one type of monosaccharide. Suppose the example of your one type of monosaccharide, suppose glucose. Then only glucose, they unite by your glycosidic bond to form the homoglycan or the homopolysaccharide. In case of heteropolysaccharide, suppose the glucose, fructose, then stachyose, they united in a glycosidic bond to form your heteropolysaccharide. That's why hetero means different monosaccharides. Okay, here you can write that point. It is made up of more than one type of monosaccharides. Okay, if you draw the different types of homoglycan units, okay, then different types are there. One is your glycogen, then starch, then third one is your cellulose. These are three types of homopolysaccharides. Where do you find the glycogen? It is the residual food material of your animal cell. Already you have know that when we are studying the cell structure, I have told that the food residual material inside your animal cell, it is your glycogen, and inside plant cell, what is that food material? It is your starch. Okay, inside it is the food or residual food of animal, and it is the residual food material of your starch. Starch is the residual food of plant. And if you consider the cellulose, it is the structural component of a polysaccharide. Structural component of polysaccharide. Where do you find most of your cellulose? You can find inside your cellular structure. Most of the cellulose are present, which are the structural polysaccharides. And the glycogen, it is a animal storage food, and the starch, it is a plant storage food, and it is the structural polysaccharide. It is the cellulose structure. And if you consider about the heteroglycans, they are also mostly three types. What is that types? One is your chitin, and second one is your agar, and last one is your peptidoglycan. These are three types of your heteropolysaccharides. They are made up of your different units of monosaccharides. Okay, I have told that what is the different units, and chitin, you know, it is the cellular composition of your fungal cell, present in cell of fungi or fungi. Okay, it is present in the cell of fungi. And agar, it is a carbohydrate that are derived from your one algae, red algae. What is the name of that red algae? Yes, that is your Glacilaria. It is derived from your red algae, that is Glacilaria. Okay, this is the example of your agar. And the peptidoglycan, where do we find the peptidoglycan? You can find inside your bacterial cellular. Most of the bacteria, they are having the peptidoglycan structure, and they are having the two units, that is your N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine, and that is your NAM plus NAM, N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, these are the structural building block of your peptidoglycan layer. Okay, these are some types of your polysaccharide. Note down these points. Then we will divide the polysaccharide basing on their function. Okay, note down these points. Then the types of polysaccharide basing on their function. Basing on function, we can divide the polysaccharide into three types. What are these types? One is your storage polysaccharide, and second one is your structural polysaccharide, and third one is your mucopolysaccharide, polysaccharides. Okay. Then what are the examples of storage polysaccharide? Mostly storage polysaccharide means these polysaccharides are present in the storage form, and most of the storage form of your polysaccharide is example of your starch and glycogen. Starch and glycogen both are included inside your storage protein because they are the storage food material inside your animal, that is your glycogen, and inside the plant the storage food material, it is your starch. And if you consider the structural polysaccharide, what is the structural polysaccharide means? Means that these polysaccharide units, they mostly helps in the building block or building of your structural unit. And if you consider the example of your structural polysaccharide, that is the example is your cellulose. It is present inside your cell of the plant cells. And if you consider about the another example of structural polysaccharide, that is your chitin, the cell wall of fungi or fungi, it is also made up of your polysaccharide units. That's why they are known as your structural polysaccharides. And if you consider the mucopolysaccharides, it mostly includes your agar-agar, which is derived from your red algae. What is that red algae? Yes, that is your Glaciolaria, from which you can derive the agar-agar. And another example is your alginic acid, and last one is your carrageenan. Okay, carrageenan. These are the examples of your mucopolysaccharides. That is your agar-agar, alginic acid, and carrageenan. And if you consider about the mucopolysaccharide, they mostly made up of your disaccharide units, and a linear chain of disaccharide units, they form the mucopolysaccharide. And if you consider about the polysaccharide of your unit, they are mostly consist of your monosaccharide units, that is your storage polysaccharide and structural polysaccharide. But inside your mucopolysaccharide, you can find the disaccharide units, that is disaccharide units in linear chain. Okay, these are the types of your polysaccharides. Write down these points, then we will discuss about the function of your polysaccharide. Important function of the polysaccharide. Consider we already discussed the types of the polysaccharide, how the structural unit, how they are the storage unit. Okay, if you consider that the glycogen and starch, these are the types of your storage polysaccharides. That is your glycogen, it is present in animal, and the starch, it is present inside your plant. And if you consider the cellulose, they are the structural component of your algae. Okay, and if you consider the chitin, it is the structural component or structural polysaccharide of fungal cell wall. And the heparin, one important point, it is also helps in preventing blood clotting. Okay, most of the blood vessels, okay, when that is flow of blood, then it will prevent the blood flow or blood clotting inside your blood vessels. Which polysaccharide? That is your heparin unit or heparin structure. And another important polysaccharide is your pectin structure. And we know that pectin, it is the important chemical composition or chemical constituent of your middle lamella. Middle lamella is the part of your which structure? Yes, that is your cell wall. In the primary cell wall, middle lamella, secondary cell wall. Okay, these are the structure of your cell wall. This is also made up of your polysaccharide, that is the pectin unit. Okay, note on these points, then we will discuss another important biomolecule, that is your lipid structure and its function. Okay, note on these points. Okay, now let us now discuss about the structure of lipid. Already we have discussed the structure of carbohydrate and the types of the carbohydrate. What are the types of carbohydrate? That is your monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. And if you consider about the lipid, and this is also important constituent of your structure, that is your plasma membrane. If you know, it is composed of a phospholipid structure. Yes, and that's why it is very important. And the lipid structure, it is fast. The term lipid is given by Lord. The term lipid is given by who give the name of lipid? Blood. Okay, and if you consider the other names of the lipid, it can also be fat, oils. These are also named according to their structure. Okay, then the lipids are also called as fats or oils. Okay, most of the fats and oils, the oils which we are eating, that are one type of lipids, okay, and these oils and these lipids are insoluble in water, okay. These lipids or these oils, these lipids are insoluble in water, insoluble in water, okay. Then how they become soluble? Okay, if you know that oil, when we will pour it into water, then the oil floats on the surface of the water, it will not dissolve in the water. Why? Because it is insoluble in water, and most of the solubility of the lipid depends upon the mostly non-polar solvent. What are the water? It is a polar solvent, that is, it is attracted to the water. It is known as a polar solvent, okay. Or other polar solvents are your methanol. These are also acetonitrate. These are also example of your polar solvent. And if you consider about the dissolve of the lipid, then lipids are dissolved in non-polar solvents. For example, that is your diethyl ether, benzene. These diethyl ether and benzene, these are example of your non-polar solvents. That is, they are not attracted to water, and lipids are mostly dissolved in these non-polar solvents, that is your benzene and diethyl ether. If you compare the carbohydrate and lipid, you can consider that the oxygen atom, it is less oxygen atom it is present inside your lipid as compared with your carbohydrate. You can at that point, less number of oxygen atom is present in lipid as compared with carbohydrate. Okay, you can find more number of oxygen atom in carbohydrate, but less number of oxygen atom present inside your lipid. And another important point is that they are also made up of carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. These are the important constituent of your lipids, like that of carbohydrate. That is, it is made up of carbon, oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, these are some important characteristics of your lipid. Note on these points, then we will discuss what are the structural aspects of your lipid. Okay, now let us draw the chemical structure of the lipid. What is the chemical structure? How can you know or how can you identify the structure of lipid? And what are the important constituent of your lipid? Okay, what is the chemical structure? Mostly it is made up of one molecule of glycerol and three molecules of your fatty acids. They make up your complete lipid structure that are joined by your ester bonds. Okay, I can write that point. One glycerol molecule, glycerol molecule and three molecules of fatty acid joined by ester bond to form a lipid. Okay, this is the important chemical structure, that is one molecule of glycerol. It is joined by your three molecule of your fatty acid molecule that are joined by your ester bond. Okay, and these are the important chemical structure of your lipid. Then now draw the chemical structure of your glycerol. This is the chemical structure of glycerol. That is CH2OH, CHOH and CH2OH. Okay, this is one molecule of your glycerol. Okay, this is the glycerol molecule, and Then there is formation of ester bond, and you have three molecules of your three molecules of your fatty acid, that is group, that is your R2, then another group, that is your R3. But okay, this is the structure of your fatty acid. This is a three molecule of fatty acid, and these are united to form the lipid structure. Okay, if you draw the lipid structure, here you can write, here there is, in each molecule of your fatty acid there is removal of your one water molecule. Okay, here OH is removed from your fatty acid, and here hydrogen is removed from your glycerol. Okay, then again this is like that. Here also OH is removed and hydrogen is removed from here. Here also is same like that. And here there is three molecules of water is removed during the formation of your lipid. As there is the three molecules of fatty acid, there is removal of three molecule of your water molecule, and there is formation of your lipid structure, that is your CH2O, OC and R1, then CHO, OC, R2, then again CH2O, OC, then R3. Okay, this is the structure of your lipid, or the structure, it is also known as your the triglycerides. It is also known as triglyceride. Okay, lipid also we can call lipid as your triglyceride. Okay, then come to your glycerol. What are the glycerol? They are basically contains the hydroxyl groups. That's why they are known as your trihydric alcohol. They are known as trihydric alcohol. Why they are known as trihydric alcohol? Because they are having three hydroxyl group. Here you can see 1, 2 and 3. They are having three hydroxyl group. That's why they are known as your which structure? They are known as your trihydric alcohol, and the fatty acid molecule. They contains the one carboxylic group and the hydrocarbon chains. The R1, R2 and R3, these are known as your hydrocarbon chains. Okay, you can at that point, fatty acid having one carboxylic group and hydrocarbon chains. Okay, and basically these hydrocarbon chains having the hydrogen and carbon atom. Okay, and basically this is the common structure of your lipid. Okay, note down this structure, then we will discuss the type of your fatty acid, how the fatty acid are classified. Now let us discuss about the types of your fatty acid. Already we have discussed that fatty acid, it is made up of your most of the carboxylic acid and hydrocarbon chains, and based on the different carbon chains they are classified. Okay, you can classify fatty acid into different types. That is, mostly there are three types. One is your saturated fatty acid, then unsaturated fatty acid, and laxase. Okay, these are the three types of fatty acids based on the presence of the carbon chain and the bond, how the carbon chains are linked with each other. And in saturated fatty acids, these are carbon atoms linked by single bond. Okay, this is the type of your saturated fatty acid where you can find the carbon chains, they are linked by the single atom. So suppose this is your carbon chain, they are linked by a single chain. This is known as your saturated fatty acids. But here in the unsaturated fatty acids, you will find the double bond. In between the carbon atoms, there will be presence of the double bond. Okay, here you can find the carbon atom linked by double bonds. Okay, and due to the presence of double bond, here you can there is absence of hydrogen molecule in that double bond. Okay, here you can find there is presence of double bond in carbon chains, and this is the structure of your unsaturated fatty acids, and here absence of hydrogen atom. Why? Because due to the presence of these double bonds in between two carbon atoms. Here there is presence of the double bond, but here you can see there is no double bond is present in between the two carbon atoms. That's why there is presence of hydrogen atom here, but here there is absence of hydrogen atom. Okay, and then another type of your fatty acid, that is your glycerol. And what are glycerols? Glycerols usually it is having fatty acid plus alcohol other than glycerol. Okay, that is here glycerol is absent, and you can find only fatty acid and alcohol, that is OH group. It is present in the waxes, and glycerol here it is absent. Here the structural, that is your saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, you can find the glycerol, but in waxes there is absence of glycerol, and here there is presence of another group, that is your alcohol. And these are all your simple lipids. And if you consider about the another type of lipids, that is your compound lipid. Okay, next important type of your lipid is your compound, or we can call these as conjugated lipids. Then what are these compound or conjugated lipids? In the simple lipids, that is also known as your triglyceride, here you will not find any other groups present along with your fatty acid and glycerol. But in case of compound lipids or conjugated lipids, you can find fatty acid plus glycerol, and another group is present which is absent in case of simple lipid. Okay, here you can find presence of fatty acid plus glycerol plus some other group. Which group is present? On the basis of this group, the compound lipids can be classified into different types. One is you can classify different types compound lipids, that is one is your phospholipid, then second one is your glycolipid, then third one is your lipoprotein, and fourth one is your cutin and suberin. Okay, these are four types of your compound lipids which are usually found inside your cells. Okay, if you find the phospholipid, they are having extra phosphate group. Phosphate group is present along with the fatty acid and glycerol. Where do you find this phospholipid? You can find the phospholipid bilayer inside your plasma membrane, or it is called as your cell membrane structure. And the glycolipid, you can find an carbohydrate group along with your lipid structure. In the glycolipid structure, remember, can you recall where do you find the glycolipid structure? Yes, you can find this glycolipid structure on the surface of your cell membrane structure. And the main function of your glycolipid is to cell recognition. That is, it helps in the recognition of the nearby cells. And if you consider the lipoprotein, these are consist of lipid plus protein. Along with your lipid, there is presence of protein structure in the lipoprotein structure, and it is mostly present inside the plasma membrane. And the lipoprotein, it mainly helps in the movement of your most of your protein structures inside your cells. And next is your cutin and suberin, which is the important constituent of your cuticle. Okay, in the plant cell, you can find the covering of your cuticle, and this cuticle mainly helps in the protection of your plant cells from the external injury. Okay, these are the important types of your fatty acid and compound lipids. Note down these points, then we will discuss about the derived lipids. Okay, note down these points. We have discussed the compound lipids and simple lipids. Then go to your derived lipids. Okay, third type of lipids, that are your derived lipids. we will know what are these derived lipids. Okay. Then in compound lipids, we know that along with your fatty acid and glycerol, there is presence of another group, and in the derived lipids, you have the similar different chemical structure, but their property is similar. Okay, you can write that point. Derived lipids are derivatives of lipid. They are usually chemically different, but having similar properties like lipid. Okay, based on the presence of the fatty acid molecule, they show the properties of lipid, but their chemical structure is different. That's why they are known as your derived lipids. And most of the example of your derived lipids are your steroids, then cholesterol, and last one is your hyposterol, or we also call it as ergosterol. And most of the common steroids which are present are your sterol, and second one is your cholesterol, which is mostly present inside your animal cell. Okay, which is a richer food or it provides energy. That is your cholesterol, which is inside your animal cell. And the hyposterol or ergosterol, which is present inside your plant cells. Okay, these are the basic types of basic example of your derived lipids. Note down these points, then we will discuss about what are the important function of your lipids. Okay. Now, already we have discussed different types of lipid, that is your simple lipid, compound lipid, and also known as your conjugated lipid and derived lipids. And based on the types, their function also varies in different cells. Okay, these are some important functions. First, let us discuss about the first function, that is on oxidation. Okay, what do you mean by oxidation process? That is two processes. One is your oxidation and one is your reduction. And in the oxidation process, there is breakdown of your molecules and they give rise electrons or they release electrons. And during the process, the lipid, when the oxidation of lipid occurs, they usually release the electrons and they break down into simple molecules, that is your glycerol, fatty acids. These are the building blocks of your lipids. Okay, when they lipids oxidize, they yield more energy as compared to the carbohydrate. If the carbohydrate breaks, that will break into monosaccharide, oligosaccharide or polysaccharide, and that energy is very less as compared with your lipid molecules because they produce more energy by oxidation. And second important function is that the fat which is found under the skin, the fat is also present under the skin, and they mostly using the insulating layer. And most of the insulating layer means they mostly absorbs or it will protect from the other fluid that are present or that will attack the skin. That will be act as an insulating layer, that will act as a temperature control center, by which they will control the temperature by presence of your fat. And they also on the oxidation fat they produce the metabolic water. Most of the water that are released from your lipid formation or by the oxidation they form the water, and that water it is very important for your desert animals. Most of the desert animals they store water by this process. By oxidizing the lipids, they remove the water and they store that in their body. Okay, like the desert animals. And one of the important desert animal, it is your camel, which can store most of the water in the desert form, okay, in the oxidation form. And for soluble vitamins, most of the soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K, that are mostly present or transported by your lipid molecules. That is inside the lipids, these are the soluble vitamins, that is your vitamin A, vitamin D, E and K, that are present in soluble form inside your lipid molecule, and lipid mostly helps in the transport of different vitamins inside our body. And hydrogenation of plant fats. Most of the plant fat they can be hydrogenated and they form the vegetable ghee. Most of the formation by removing the hydrogen group from the fat, you can form the ghee. And deposition of cutin. You know that cuticle, it is present in the plant cell. Suppose this is the plant cell, and in the epidermis of the plant cell there is presence of a layer which is known as your cuticle, and this deposition of cuticle mostly reduces the transpiration. Transpiration is the process by which the water from the plant body is lost to the outer environment, and due to the presence of the cuticle on the epidermis layer, then there is less transpirations, then less absorption or the transpiration of water from the aerial part of the plant body. Okay, then reduces the transpiration. Then another important function is that of sterols, which is the important growth hormone or flowering hormone of plants. And lastly, lipid, that are important storage food inside your body. And also these sterols, they also act as your steroid hormones and bile salts. Okay, these steroids are also important constituent of your steroid hormones and bile salts. These are important function of your lipids we have discussed today. What we have discussed today, we have discussed about the polysaccharide and lipids. Polysaccharide are the units which are made up of around 10 to more monosaccharide units. And mostly two types of polysaccharide present. One is a homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharide. Homopolysaccharide made up of similar monosaccharide units, and examples are your glycogen, starch and cellulose. These are example of your homopolysaccharide. And in heteropolysaccharide, what we have studied, these are made up of different types of monosaccharide units like your peptidoglycan, chitin. These are example of your heteropolysaccharide. And in lipids, these are the structures which are present, or we call it as your fat and oils, and these are insoluble in water and soluble in most of the non-polar solvents. Okay, these topics we have discussed today. Next class we will discuss about the nucleotide. See you in next class. Thank you.